We've all got to eat 3 squares a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now, most of the time, I bet you don't even think about what you're eating. That's not good. Your body is like a fine-tuned machine. The food you eat is the fuel that keeps you running. But how do you know the nutritional value in that cup of yogurt or that bowl of cereal? Look on the label. Hey, I'm Gia, and I'm here to talk about the Nutrition Facts label. If you want to stay healthy and energetic, then reading and understanding food labels can help you make food choices that give you more energy and help you feel your best. And we can all use a little more brain power. Don't say it. Don't even think it. There are 3 things you need to know about the Nutrition Facts label. Just 3. Calories, serving size, and percent daily value. Got it? Well, if you still feel kind of overwhelmed by the whole idea of actually reading and understanding food labels, you're not alone. Let's see how much the ordinary person on the street knows about this subject.
Thanks, Gia. Well, it's a little cold for dining al fresco, but we've got work to do. Let's find our first victim. So what do you think is the official serving size of a bowl of cereal?
I think that one.
That one?
Yes.
2.
Said probably number 2.
Probably 2.
What would be the official serving size of cereal?
Number 3.
Number 3. Tell me which number you
Bowl
think.
number 2.
Your opinion on what you think an official serving size of cereal might be.
3.
Would you eat what's in...
No, I think
I didn't have...
Yep.
Bowl number 3.
Big breakfast.
You would... Big breakfast. What's in bowl 1, bowl 2, or bowl 3?
I would probably do 2.
Would you point to what you think would be an official
I think it's a
serving
lot
size?
smaller than I usually have, and a lot smaller than I think it is. I think it's going to be number 1.
My work is done here.
Okay, we're gonna make this easy to understand because this can be confusing. For instance, you buy one of those 20-ounce sodas. How many servings is that? 1, 2, 20? You're craving a nice juicy burger. How many calories are you getting? Add cheese, supersize it, you know the calories are going ka-ching, ka-ching, but exactly how many are there? If you eat 18 grams of fat, which is 28% DV at breakfast, how much can you eat at lunch to remain below the recommended daily value? Have the salad. Okay, it's not algebra, but you do need to do a little math to make the best food choices you can. To give us a hand, we've turned to the experts at CSI to help us out. The Calorie Scene investigators.
Hey, don't tamper with the evidence.
What have we got so far, Sally?
Well, I think we're up against the toughest case this lab has ever had. I've got a serving of vanilla ice cream, that's Exhibit A, in the new calorie-mograph our lab just got.
Oh, yes. We're the first to get the multi-million-dollar calorie-mograph. Checking calories, huh? You know, calories provide a measure of how much energy is in a serving of this food.
That's right, and calories are assessed based on serving size.
As a calorie scene investigator, I have come to find that appearances can be deceiving. Consuming too many calories per day can lead to obesity and being overweight.
Here's what doesn't add up, Derek. I'm getting a calorie reading of 150 calories for 1 serving of Exhibit A vanilla ice cream, while an identical serving of fruit juice pop is only 60 calories.
The same serving size of the frozen juice pop has almost 1/3 of the calories of Exhibit A?
That's right.
Then let's call the juice pop Exhibit B.
Good idea. Let's check past histories to see if there's a trend. Hand over those chips. I want to get an analysis of them.
This isn't going to be pretty. Oh, only 170 calories per serving. Not so bad.
But Derek, do you know the reading I'm getting for a serving size? 9 to 15 chips.
Yeah, no biggie.
Actually, it's really not very big. The point is, you've already had about 30 without even thinking.
How can this be? I didn't even eat the whole bag.
serving size, servings per container, calories per serving. Starting to get the picture? Well, how do you tell just what a single serving is when it's something like cereal? For instance, which of these bowls is the right size for a single serving of cereal, as described on most cereal boxes? You're thinking, both of them. I want a bowl of cereal, and they're bowls, right? But that's exactly the problem. They're bowls. But the nutrition facts label is based on a cup of cereal. Not how I eat cereal. Now that's a bowl of cereal. But it takes about 2 cups to fill this bowl. That's 2 servings you're eating at once. Add milk and you've got a lot of calories. That's why it's so important to pay attention to the nutrition facts label. Sure, bowls come in all different sizes, but mostly they hold more than a cup. And an 8-ounce cup is the serving size listed on most cereal food labels, based on a typical 2,000 calorie a day diet. So even if you eat a healthy, low-fat, low-sugar, high-fiber cereal, eating enough of it tips the scales. Literally. Pour yourself a bowl of high-protein granola with lots of nuts and dried fruit. That's more than you need if you're sitting at the computer all day, but fine if you're planning a workout like running or hiking. It's all about balance. And there's actually a nutritional rule to help you achieve balance in your eating habits. Ever heard of the 5-20 rule?
It sounds just about as complicated as a mathematical equation, but let's see if anybody here on the street can help us out. Excuse me, sir. What's the 5-20 rule?
I don't know what the 520 rule is, actually. I've never heard of it.
Sounds like a tax code thing.
The 5-20 rule.
Exactly. Any ideas, Sam? Yeah.
Maybe vitamins?
5 carbs, 20 grains. Wait, are there 5 or 7 food groups?
Let's keep asking.
The 5-20 rule? Is it local or federal?
Okay, can you tell me what the 5-20 rule is?
I don't know.
The 5-20 rule? Is this something got 5 fruits and vegetables every day?
Where's everyone? I don't know. Can you tell me what the 5-20 rule is?
What is it about?
It has something to do with nutrition. Does anything come to mind?
The 5-20. I have no idea. I mean, I think I've heard of it, but...
We're still confused here. It's very complicated. We need some help. Please.
Here's the deal with the 5-20 rule. If a food has 5% or less of the daily value of a nutrient, say a bottle of juice that contains less than 5% calcium, then that food isn't a good source of that nutrient, calcium in this case. But a food with 20% or more of a nutrient means it is a good source. So, a glass of milk that has 25% calcium is an excellent source. The rule also works for nutrients you may not want a lot of, like saturated fat or sodium. With those nutrients, try to stick to the servings closer to 5%, not 20%. It's all based on a 2,000 calorie daily diet. And that brings us back to balance. Like those after-school snacks Mom used to serve, healthy and tasty.
Hey, Mom, I'm home.
Hey, Danny. How was swim practice?
Great, my best time yet. But I'm hungry after all that swimming.
Oh, I bet you are. How about a cup of soup to hold you over until dinner?
What kind?
Well, let's see. We've got cream of mushroom, minestrone, and healthy chicken noodle.
How about healthy chicken noodle?
Oh, that's a good choice for you.
How come?
Well, it's got the nutrients an active guy your age needs. 28% DV of vitamin A, and it's a good helping of carbohydrates to boot. Plus, it's low fat, less than 5%, and lower in sodium, less than 20% DV.
You sound like a nutritionist, Mom. How do you know all that?
It's all right here, in the nutrition facts label. When figuring out nutrition, remember the 5-20 rule. 5% is low, 20% high. If you want less of a nutrient, aim for 5%. More, 20%.
I get it. Coach says he wants us to have more protein, so I should look for the higher percentage of that. 20, right?
Right.
Well, if I want to win a medal next week, I better start reading. The nutrition facts label, that is.
To review, if a food has 5% or less of the daily value of a nutrient, say less than 5% fiber, then that food isn't a good source of that nutrient. 20% or more means it is. That's the 5-20 rule. Conversely, you can use the 5-20 rule to know what foods to limit. For instance, if you're trying to get less sodium, try to stick to servings closer to 5%, not 20%.
I thought I smelled something good.
We're eating some soup, Grandpa.
That sounds great. Maybe I'll warm up with some soup too.
Well, there are a lot of good choices. See what you like and I'll make you some.
Cream of mushroom. Too much saturated fat and sodium for me.
Well, we all need to watch our saturated fat and sodium. Try the healthy minestrone. It's low fat, a good source of fiber, and lower in sodium.
Just what the doctor ordered, since I'm not getting to walk as much in this cold weather.
Well, we all wish we had Danny's energy. But when we eat right for our age, we all feel a little bit younger.
Danny is very active, so he's looking for more carbohydrates and probably has a larger calorie intake than Gramps. On the other hand, Gramps can use a bit more protein and needs to watch his cholesterol. Here's another example of the 5-20 rule. These are 8-ounce glasses of apple juice, orange juice, and tomato juice. Apple juice only has 4% of your daily requirement of vitamin C, less than 5, so it's not a good source of C. OJ has more than 100%, and so does tomato juice, so they're great sources. 1 glass, and you're good on vitamin C for the entire day. But tomato juice has less than half the calories of the other two and a lot less sugar. So it's a really great choice. But it's also got a lot more sodium, so make sure you read the nutrition facts label. Okay, let's review. Nutrition facts labels are your key to calories, serving sizes, and daily values that follow the 5-20 rule. So, before you chow down, check the calories and serving size. If it says a serving is 6 ounces like some yogurts, then the nutrients are based on a 6-ounce cup. That means there are fewer calories in a serving, which could be a good thing. But serving sizes can be bad news too. For example, on something like chips or cookies, a package may contain more than 1 serving. Ooh, this one has 2? That means if you eat the whole package, you're getting 2 times the calories listed. And with cereal and pasta, okay, in real life, I eat my cereal and pasta by the bowlful, but on Planet Nutrition Facts label, it's by the cup or portion of the box. Make sure you check the label to know how many calories and nutrients you're really getting. And don't forget the 5-20 rule. If a food has 5% or less of a nutrient, it's not a good source of that nutrient. If it has 20% or more, it is an excellent source. You can get the score on all the foods you eat if you use the 5-20 rule. And if you're a sports fan, that's totally an inside tip.
Welcome to Game Time. I'm Pat Summerhill.
And I'm Gail Moran. Today, it's the battle of the dueling dinner parties. At stake, bragging rights for healthiest food get-togethers. Pat?
Well, Gail, you know, there's lots of food out there, that's for sure. But the question is, how do you choose nutrients or foods wisely when you're away from home and, say, at a dinner party?
Well, that's what we're here to find out, Pat. Let's take a look at our 2 contenders. Up first, The Simpsons, who've invited some friends over for a typical sit-down affair. It'll be interesting to see what the hostess has come up with for the menu there, Pat.
And out on the other side, we've got their neighbors, the Jacksons, who've invited a few friends over for an informal Sunday afternoon football celebration. Now, their game plan includes lots of finger foods in a buffet-style setting. Joe Santana's on the sidelines with Mr. Jackson now. Joe.
Thanks, Pat. Frank, you've got some serious competition from The Simpsons for dinner tonight. What's your game plan for keeping it healthy without making it boring?
Joe, this party is going to be anything but boring. We've got football after all.
And don't forget the veggies.
Veggies with a ball game?
Sure. We have fresh broccoli, tomatoes, cauliflower, and my favorite, sweet yellow peppers.
Believe it or not, they make a good snack.
Well, as we all know with the 5-20 rule, 20% or more of a nutrient is high, 5% is low. So these veggies are an excellent source of vitamin C, very low in sodium and saturated fat. Back to you, Pat.
Thanks, Joe. It's a great start to what could be a big battle. Now, they're just sitting down to dinner at the Simpsons, but we spoke to Fran Simpson earlier today. Now, here's what she had to say about her game plan.
You have a hungry crowd coming over today, Fran. What's on the menu?
Well, I've got individual game hens for everyone, a side salad, and baked potatoes.
Oh, and I see you're also planning soup for an appetizer.
Oh, yup. Soup's always a good starter. I'm planning a hearty tomato soup with fresh rosemary and garlic croutons. It's easy to make, and it's packed with vitamin C.
Huh. Sounds like a winner. We'll see how it goes over with the dinner party. Gail?
Back at the Jacksons, the ball game's just about to start. They've laid out the spread, and our first guest is loading up his plate. Now, despite the side of veggies, that pile of wings is gonna cost him. A serving size is 3 wings, and it looks like he's got 6. Add the half dozen pizza bites, and he's well on his way to more than his total daily value in many categories.
Yeah, let's take a look at the scores so far. We've got 30% DV saturated fat from those 6 wings, and another 15% from the pizza bites, for a total of 45% daily value from those 2 foods alone. Now, the only good news is the 64% DV protein from the meat and the 150% DV vitamin C from the peppers. Now, at the Simpsons, I assume the nutrition score is much better, Gail?
Well, you would think so, Pat, but Fran's made a last-minute change in the lineup. Now, the tomato soup was pulled and replaced with French onion. It's particularly high in sodium, and the large piece of cheese on top helps it weigh in at a whopping 30% daily value of saturated fat.
You're right, Gail. And if we go by the 5-20 rule, 30% is over the 5% DV maximum we like to limit ourselves to each day. Now, at the same time, while the Cornish hen adds 60% daily value of protein, it also tacks on another 35% DV of saturated fat. Still better than the neighbors, but the Simpsons haven't locked up a win yet.
Hold on, Pat. It looks like we've gone off the playbook at the Jacksons. They've brought out some chicken breast wraps, and they seem to be very popular. The whole grain gives it a whopping 31% DV of fiber, and the flavorful low-cal dressing comes in at only 3% DV of saturated fat. I think the momentum is shifting, Pat.
And I think you're right, Gail. Surprisingly, it looks like they're not sticking to the game plan over at the Simpsons. Now, it looks like they've forgotten the 5-20 rule. Butter and sour cream on the potatoes, a creamy dressing on the salad, and is that eggnog?
I'm afraid it is, Pat. And the portions are out of control. Potatoes and salad add much needed fiber and vitamins, but look at the size of those servings.
A surprise outcome in the battle of the dueling dinner parties, Gail. Now, this just underscores how important it is to not only choose nutrients wisely, but to also pay attention to serving size and calories per serving. For Game Time, I'm Pat Summerhill.
And I'm Gail Moran. See you next time.
As the sports guys showed us, one of the hardest times to get nutritional information and make good choices is when you're away from home. Oh, and when you're hungry and in a hurry, it's easy to order without thinking. Oh, excuse me. May I help you, sir?
Yes, ma'am. I'm hungry and I'm in a hurry. Let me get a supersized burger, supersized fries, supersized milkshake, super fast. I want everything on it on the double, please.
Sir, I have to warn you that this meal runs the risk of throwing your diet off balance. There's a lot of fat and added sugar, and unless you plan on burning those calories off, you may want to consider ordering something else.
How am I supposed to know what's in the food? I mean, this is a restaurant. It's not like they have food labels on the menu out here.
Well, some restaurants do provide nutritional information. It's on the web or inside the restaurant, and some actually do print it on the menu. But the best advice I can give you when you're craving foods that are deep fried or really high in sugar is to follow what my mother always used to say. Everything in moderation.
My mom used to say that too.
So, make your choice based on that.
Well, in that case, give me the smaller one.
I think that is a great choice, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. And remember, you can sometimes find nutritional information on restaurant food to make good choices when you eat out. Yes, there will be a quiz on this later. Wait, make that now.
Welcome back to Are You Smarter Than a Food Label? The game show that tests the food label knowledge of ordinary, everyday, average people. I'm your host, Label Man, the FDA's graphic representation of the nutrition facts label. Oh, really? Our next contestant hails from the lettuce capital of the U.S. His friends call him Bulldog, but say he wouldn't hurt a fly. All the way from sunny California, please give a warm nutrition facts label welcome to Mr. Tim Patrick. Tim will ask you the question, and you'll have the chance to answer. Or go to the food label. Or simply pass. However, you're allowed only one pass before you're disqualified. Let's get started. First question is multiple choice. A serving size is determined by A, the size of the package it's in, B, a predetermined portion that's easily found on the nutrition facts label, or C, the weight of the person eating that particular serving.
I'll go with B, a predetermined portion that's easily found on the nutrition facts label.
Correct! A package can easily have more than one serving. Remember, the nutrition facts label has the serving size and the number of servings, as well as other important nutritional information. Next question, true or false? The calories section of the nutrition facts label shows the number of calories in that particular package.
I'll have to say true, Label Man.
Oh, I'm sorry, but it shows the number of calories per serving, not per package. Next question. What is the 5-20 rule? A, the formula for the number of calories it takes to run 5 miles in 20 minutes. B, the body's standard burn rate for fat in a food. Or C, a way to tell if a food is low or high in a particular nutrient.
That's easy, Label Man. The answer is C, a way to tell if a food is low or high in a particular nutrient.
That's right. If a food's daily value, or DV, of a nutrient is 5% or less, it's low in that nutrient. 20% or more means it's high. This can be bad or good depending on if it's a nutrient you want more or less of. Can you give me an example of a nutrient on each end of the scale, Tim?
Something like saturated fat would be a good thing to get 5% or less of, I would think. And you probably want a high number, 20% DV or more, of something like calcium or fiber, probably.
Good choices. Other nutrients to get more of include vitamins A, C, and iron. And those to get less of include saturated fat, cholesterol, and sodium. Moving along to our next question, true or false? It's impossible to truly know the nutritional value of a meal when you're away from home. Tim?
Well, I know that many restaurants are including healthy choices on their menus now, like light fares or low sodium or low fat selections. I'm not sure if they include the nutritional value, however. Oh, I did see the nutrition facts listed on a napkin at one takeout place the other day. I'm going to have to go with false, Label Man.
That's right. Many restaurants and food chains are making the nutritional information available on their websites, their menus at the restaurant, even on the wrappers of their takeout food in some instances. If you can't find it, just ask. Tim, you're doing pretty good so far. You've come down to the final question. Get this one right and you'll win the grand prize. Answer it incorrectly and you go home empty-handed. Are you ready to put it all on the line?
I am, Label Man.
Okay, here we go. What are the 3 things to remember when making healthy food choices? You have 10 seconds. Okay, Tim, let's see how you answered.
That would be calories, servings, and % daily value.
That's correct! You're our grand prize winner! Congratulations! Make sure you join us next time on Are You Smarter Than a Food Label? Bye-bye, everybody!
Man, am I hungry. I wonder what's for dinner.